This is the Flat Cap Cafe Racer here. I'm out taking a ride on my 500cc Royal Enfield Classic Chrome. It's a 2017. I've had it since new. About 5,800 miles on it. I don't show it on the channel a lot because I take it out riding real slow out in the country and things like that. And I figure most of you don't want to watch stuff like that. But I have a topic today I want to talk about, so I thought I'd take it out for a ride. It's one of the prettier motorcycles around, even at its price. Of course, they don't make the 500 anymore. At least right now they don't. Why don't you join me for the ride and listen to what my little rant is about, and let me know what you think. Okay, now that we got the introduction to the motorcycle I'm riding today out of the way, I'm going to get to the topic. For new viewers, I was spent the best part of the last 3 weeks trying to find and buy a R1200 RS BMW. I'm sorry, R1200S BMW.
I swear I know what it is. It's an R12S.
And my buddy Mr. Bill and I have been looking. When I mean looking, we've been searching 6 different states and 8 different dealers within 1,000 miles. And I've come away with one great big disappointment. Well, one of the disappointments is that I couldn't find a bike that I could buy. And I could kind of understand that, I guess. You know, it's very limited availability, and not around. And some of them are already spoken for. But what I was really, really disappointed in was the lack of urgency and laziness of the salespeople that I talked to. When I'm saying laziness, a lot of them didn't understand the difference between a R12S and a R1200S, which is, to me, is kind of basic. You know, you ought to understand that. That's what product you're selling. And the biggest problem I have, I guess, was getting through the phone trees, finally getting to a salesperson, then that salesperson not being there, not answering a message when you leave it. Guess I'm going a little slow here. Not answering a message when you leave it, and or sometimes they don't contact you back for like a week. Trying to get prices out of these guys, you know, it was like, you know, you must as well be breaking an arm for them to give you a price. I was trying to trade in a bike or two, one of the 2 bikes that I have, and so I made videos of, you know, like a 5-minute walk around video of the 2 bikes. And I offered that up because some of the distances were 1,000 miles, so I'd like to know which bike I was going to trade in, what kind of value they'd give me for the bike. Well, most of the time they wouldn't even look at the video. One guy said he wanted just send a couple pictures, you know, left and right. Well, what are you going to tell about that? I mean, you know, basically, I think they just said, hey, I'm going to give you low dollar on whatever you have. It doesn't make any difference. And I'm just going to farm it out to an auction house or something. So, you know, I went to the trouble of making a 5-minute video showing the bikes, you know, and what condition, and, you know, showing everything and telling about them. But they didn't have even the courtesy to watch the videos. In fact, one of the dealerships that had a R12S coming in, but the guy backed out of it. A local guy backed out of it where he lived. This is out in California. So I'll get a chance to go on that one, and then they say, well, okay. So I make the videos and all the stuff and send it in. I hear nothing, crickets. So I kept asking. So I call them back. Finally get a hold of somebody, and they go, well, we decided to pass on offering you any kind of deal at all. We're going to sell it to somebody locally here in California. That's like, what? My money's not green enough for you? The person that backed out of your deal was from California also. So they act like they're doing you a favor selling you an overpriced motorcycle. And that's one of the things that just those kind of piss me off. How can you stay in business with salespeople that don't know their products? That, in fact, a lot of the time when you go to the call in, they have it divided up, so there might be as many as 4 people that have to touch a deal. So none of them has total responsibility. I guess that's good because they don't want to have it, but you just can't deal with one person. And you call back in the next day, well, they're gone. You have to wait for them to come back. So this makes it, you wonder, what are they trying to accomplish? I don't know. The motorcycles are very expensive. There's fewer of us buying motorcycles nowadays. They're so much more expensive that narrows down the field a little bit. And yet, the only thing they can go on is service, and they're not offering any kind of service. If you can't be bothered to talk to me and give me a price, and bother to tell me or call me back and on a deal, then how are you going to be once you get my money? It can't be good, can it? Well, this is my little rant about the sales. I just think that salesmen are pretty lazy. Like I said, if I was to grade them, the best ones of the bunch that I talked to in this BMW circle were I'd give them a C. But everybody else I'd give a D minus. They don't even know their allocation process, which BMW is not alone in the allocation process, but doggone it, you figure they could know whether they could order a bike, they could get a bike, It wouldn't take them a week to figure that out. Maybe that's why a lot of the dealers are, maybe that's one reason, another reason, and some of the dealers are closing down is their sales guys kind of suck. Well, this is my humble opinion. I sold motorcycles, so there you go. How the salespeople in your area, I have some good ones. I guess I'm gonna be staying with my Triumph guys because they're good. They treat me nice. They know their products. They know the stuff. And BMW. In order for me to buy a BMW now, I think I will have to. They're going to have to come, and I'm not saying I won't, but it's going to be a tough sell. And maybe those all those BMW riders that don't nod and wave back at you, maybe they're not bad people. That maybe they just got tired of going through the BMW process and kind of pissed off. I don't know. This is a Flat Cap Cafe Racer out for the day. Thanks for riding with me.
Join me and my friends at Flat Cap Cafe Racer for riding and racing. Please subscribe.